There we go.
Hi everyone, nice to meet you. I'm Raphael Leyendecker. I'm the Managing Director of Techstars Sustainability in Paris. We're the world's largest pre-seed investor.
Awesome. Techstars in the house.
Hi everyone, hi Mathias. I am Romain Erny, I'm Head of Mobility at Choose Paris Region. So we are a non-profit supporting companies that want to set up or expand in the beautiful region of Paris.
Wonderful, thank you.
Hello everybody, good afternoon. My name is Ken Hayes. I am the Executive Director of Cleantech Open, which is the world's largest clean technology business accelerator based in the United States. We also have a France affiliate, Cleantech Open France, and I'm also a VC in Santa Monica, California.
Awesome.
Hello, my name is Alix. I'm working at StarQuest Capital, which is an impact fund, and we are investing in Series A and Series B companies, mostly impact companies and industrial companies. Thank you.
Wonderful, welcome.
Hello everybody, good afternoon. I'm Alex from SG Ventures, which is a corporate VC of Société Générale, investing in fintech and mobility startups from Series A to Series C.
You're at the right place.
Hi everyone, I'm also Alex. I work at Energy Impact Partners, which is a growth stage fund investing Series A to C across broader climate tech. Nice to meet you.
Good to have you.
Hi everybody, nice to be here. I'm Marion Chaniac, partner at Alter Equity, which is the first French impact fund. And we mainly focus on investing in companies that have a positive impact on social or environmental challenges.
Wonderful, thank you so much, and thank you for your time. Now, before we board this train that's hopefully fueled by biofuels and regenerative fuels, I would like to share with you a couple of logistic announcements. Number one, all of you, please put on your headphones if you haven't already, and you can change the volume on the left if it's too loud or if it's not loud enough. For the people who are going to pitch, please make sure to stand in this circle so that the camera can film your beautiful faces. You take this microphone, hold it close to your mouth, and you click through your slides with this device, clicking on the green button. And with that, I would love to welcome the first changemaker on stage, Dev Aurora from Alt Mobility. Not in the room yet. That's not a problem. We'll just move the person to a later stage. Then Andy Wynn is up next. Yeah? Andy, that's you? Okay, very good. Taking the place.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So
the stage is yours.
Green button, okay.
Yes.
Number one is actually just arrived, so number one is arrived.
Logistics challenges. Go,
stage
no go.
Is yours.
Go, thank you. Thank you, everybody. So, hi everyone, my name is Andy Wynn. I'm one of the co-founders of PurEmissions, a revolutionary pollution capture technology for the shipping industry. So, I took this photo just a few weeks ago near my hometown. So what you see are carbon particles, soot, released to atmosphere on engine startup. What you don't see are the nitrogen oxides, the sulfur oxides, the heavy metals which are released continuously from the engine as the ship's running. The shipping industry is the #1 emitter of nitrogen and sulfur oxides in the world, responsible for 250,000 deaths a year due to respiratory illnesses. It also produces 3% of all climate change gases. In order to reduce its impact on the environment, the shipping industry has been rolling out emission control areas, zones where ship operators need to meet very strict sulfur and nitrogen emission limits. This has created a tremendous technical and cost challenge for ship operators everywhere, with a number of emission control technologies being tested. But they're inefficient, they're expensive to run. Some of them are due to be banned because they create more environmental problems than they solve. PurEmissions will change all of this. And why? Because PurEmissions removes all pollutants, all at the same time, and it works on any fuel. Our nanocatalytic filtration technology allows any vessel to work in the most stringent SOx and NOx emission limits anywhere in the world. And it reduces the carbon footprint of the vessel by up to 20%. Now, our technology is already proven in a range of shipping fuels. on land, our technology delivers performance that no marine technology can even come close to. Our technology is already deployed in over 100 industrial applications around the world. And with over 120,000 ocean-going vessels without adequate emissions control, and more than double that working the inland waterways of the world, our available market is well over $100 billion. And so we're here today seeking investment partners so we can get our first unit on a ship and onto the water. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Wonderful, and right on time. Thank you so much for the work that you do. Next up, we have Def Aurora, who I heard is in the room now. So, stage is yours. Tell us all about what you do. Thank you. You use this device to click through the slide screen button.
Thanks. Hi everyone. I'm Dev Aurora. I'm coming from New Delhi, India. And I'm the co-founder and CEO of Alt Mobility, where essentially Alt Mobility was developed as a system to transition India's last mile commercial fleets to electric. We've designed a business which is focused on leasing and lifecycle management of commercial fleets. We specifically focus on B2B fleets, wherein we work with last mile cargo and passenger transportation within cities to transition these two. So why commercial mobility? Commercial mobility will be the first to transition to 100% electric. We have demand from cities, where cities have given mandate, like Delhi, one of the most polluted cities in India, has committed to transition 100% of their fleet of commercial fleets to electric in the next 5 years. Most cities in India are targeting the next 10 years. The total cost of ownership, the subsidies available are making this market very, very attractive. But challenges exist to enable this transition to happen. There's a lot of CapEx cost that is going to be required to purchase these vehicles. There's a lot of the financing is very limited because EVs are first generation of vehicles. Banks and financing institutions are today very apprehensive towards financing this. There's no secondary market. So we designed a product which we call one-stop solution for fleet electrification, which is responsible for all the way from selection of a vehicle based on different kind of parameters. We help fleet operators select the right vehicle for their operations. We then lease those vehicles out in partnerships with banks and financing institutions. We then also manage those vehicles through a Fleet OS platform, which is a proprietary platform which collects data from our fleets, does preventive and corrective diagnostics for our fleet to essentially ensure a high uptime. We also then have specific products that we have created, which include insurance management, service management, warranty management, all through a single application. All of these are customized products designed to lower operating costs. Because we're operating at economies of scale, we are able to negotiate on costs and bring the best SLAs and terms for our partners. And finally, we're also then looking at charging infrastructure. You cannot have EVs without solving the charging story, so we partnered with local charging institutions. We set up hubs wherein we are aggregating networks of charging point operators to improve the capacity utilization of chargers and essentially aggregate demand, aggregate supply, and we're able to create a system in which we're able to bring things in efficiently. And finally, at the end of the tenure, the vehicle is returned to us, we refurbish it, we deploy it in a second life. The objective here is to run the vehicle for as long as possible and continue to monetize the entire life cycle of the vehicle. So where we are today, we have one of the largest fleets in the entire country. We are operating a fleet of 4,300 vehicles on the ground. That translates to an AUM of about $8 million. This started just last year. March of last year, we had 80 vehicles on the ground. We're touching 4,300 today. AUM from 0 to 8 million in 1 year, and recurring revenues 3 million. And we've got almost 100,000 orders in the next 3 years.
Wonderful, Def. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Really important work that you're doing. So I wish you all the best and much success. Next up is Clemens Smoller from Aerodymax.
Hi everyone, I'm Clemens Michael, and I'm from Austria, and I'm the co-founder of Aerodymax, a startup that's on a mission to decrease fuel consumptions and emissions by 10% in trucks. Now, did you know that trucks and semi-trailers generally have extremely terrible aerodynamics? They use half of their fuel to push air around and overcome the aerodynamic drag. Now, we at Aerodymax, however, have found a solution and developed a skirt that improves the aerodynamics by 10%, thus reducing fuel consumption and emissions by up to 6%. It is made from an extremely lightweight composite, bends over obstacles, and is extremely durable. At this point in time, we can retrofit any trailer or semi-trailer on the European roads, and we are the only product of its kind on the European market. Our pilots have our skirt has successfully passed many pilots with our clients, and they have reported general savings of 3,000 to 5,000 euros per truck per year at a return of investment of around 6 months. On top of that, the skirt also cuts the emissions of around 6 tons per year per truck. Now, if we manage to get the North American penetration level of skirts in Europe, which is around 70%, we could potentially cut emissions by as much as 27 million tons CO2. To put this into context, all airplanes in France emit this much in a single year. So this is why we're trying to prove the technology to the current market, and this is how we do it. We give out free pilots to the largest logistic and transport companies in Europe, have them verify and validate our product, see how much they save, come back to us in scale. At this point in time, we have paying clients like Moisburger or Raben, but also AB InBev, the largest beer manufacturing company in the world, used to be called Anheuser-Busch. The skirt is our current ready-to-market solution. However, we're also working on 3 R&D incentives. One is a complete underbody for the chassis of the trailer. Another one is a trailer rear wing that cuts another 3 to 5% of the fuel and emissions. And the last one is switchable batteries for EV trucks, which makes trucks carry up to 3,000 kilos of switchable batteries. In a nutshell, we're currently here to raise 300,000 euros to scale and to prove the product to the market that it improves the environment and helps save the planet. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Trucks have never looked so good. Thank you. Wonderful. Such a logical solution. Thank you very much. Next up is Olivier Sally from Zenride.
Thank you. Hello. I assume most of you have seen the bike revolution happening here in Paris or in any other major cities. Today, I'd like to share a different story of the bike revolution that we live every day at Zenride. Let me introduce you to Frank. Frank is a worker in the east of France, working on in an industrial site, as there are many in France. His life is okay, but definitely could be better. A few years ago, he could have been standing on a roundabout with a yellow jacket, and as many French citizens, he feels the gap between his everyday actions and the climate requirements. He knows he should do more for the climate. He knows for instance, he should drive less his car for the planet, for his saving, and his children very often tell him the obvious: Dad, why don't you ride a bike to go to work? The truth is, he can't afford an e-bike, the ideal body to go to work by bike. One day, as he arrives at work at his factory, he sees that he can have a bike and all the services included for just €1 per day. And it's possible because his employer subsidized everything else, the whole rest of the leasing. And the best is that he can choose any bike he likes, especially the one he already spotted at his local bike stores. And now life gets better. He feels free twice a day when he goes to work and when he comes back home. His children sees him happier, healthier, and the best, he who can only dream of a company car, now he has a company bike. Frank is not alone. There are 100,000 employees in France who can already access this employee benefit with Zenride. And for the thousands who have already ordered a bike, they are more grateful, they are more loyal, they are more productive, and with their employer, they are more sustainable. They work at Safran, at Saint-Gobain, at Veolia, and more everywhere in France, especially in the countryside. That's what makes us proud at Zenride. We want to empower a company to make the bike experience available to everyone, to strengthen the employer brand, and to reduce their carbon footprint, so as their employee they can change the world every day. Not only by riding a bike, but by showing the right example to their colleagues, to their friends. For us, they are more than just bike commuters, they are Zenriders. I'm Olivier Sally, CEO of Zenride, the bike leasing benefit supporting your ESG strategy. Thank you.
Wonderful. You can stay with us. Thank you very much. If I was living in France, I'd be calling my employer right away. Thank you for the work that you do. I'd love to ask the changemakers who've just pitched back up on stage for a short Q&A with our wonderful jury. You have microphones in front of you, and anyone who wants to ask a question, please just pick up the mic and ask away. And we have about 7 to 8 minutes.
I can start if you want. I can start with Olivier. Thank you very much for your pitch. I understand that you offer a very affordable solution, €1 per day per employer. Sorry. But how can it work, and what is your business model, and how can you make money with that business model, with that kind of pricing?
Sure. €1 per day is the employee cost. Obviously, the employer subsidize most of the leasing, 70% of the leasing actually, so about €100 per month, €30 for the employee. Our business model is a very classical leasing business model. So we have a margin on the supply at the delivery, a margin on financing and services during the 3-year contract, and a margin on the second life value. So strong and proven unit economics. It's very easy. Thank you.
Thank you. Other questions? Mm-hmm.
I had a question for Alt Mobility. Thank you for the presentation. Could you touch on how modular your proposition is? It seems like you have a lot of different products. Do you tend to sort of get into the customer's door with one of them and then upsell? Do you tend to sell it as a package?
It's one price, so the entire value of the leasing value proposition is it's a fleet as a service contract, which essentially includes all the services which are completely managed by us. So we offer the vehicle on lease, plus the servicing cost, plus the maintenance cost, plus spares, consumables, insurance. All of that is kind of bundled in a single price. And now second phase, we're bundling charging, parking, and energy into it as well. So one single price, you kind of hit the ground running with a new vehicle immediately. It's a fully managed fleet as a service model.
Sounds pretty hassle-free. Very good. Okay, more questions.
Hello, thank you everyone for your pitch. Also for Alt Mobility, will you duplicate your model in other countries? And what will be your the first country that you will go to after India?
Yeah, we absolutely intend to replicate the success that we've had in India. And I think the first geographies is basically one of the strongest foundations of how we acquire customers is through our OEM partnerships. With every OEM, we create custom products to lease out their vehicle in the most competitive pricing. And so wherever OEMs are present, we partner with. We met with some OEMs here. In fact, we met with OEMs who we are already partnered in India. So for us, the next logical step is OEMs that are within India are exporting majority of their vehicles to Africa and Southeast Asia. So those are the next logical markets for us. Over the next next year, we're actually doing pilots in these countries, and we're completely scalable.
Okay, thank you.
I have a question for the PurEmissions, the ship emissions. Are the ship owners going to be compelled to adopt this technology, or will there be a financial benefit by adopting it?
Great question. They are compelled to take on some solution. We believe it will be ours because, as I explained, the regulations are coming in. Mediterranean, for example, is going to become one of these emission control areas 1st of January 2025. The clock is ticking for many, many cargo fleets, cruise liners, these kind of things. So they have to put something in. Like any industry, they hold back because it costs them money, and regulation forces them to do that. So they have to have a solution. Our benefit is the existing ones they've tried just inefficient. They cause lots of problems. They're difficult to use. Some of the things they try. We are industrial people. We come from the industrial background. Some of the technology they've put on a ship, no factory would put it. It's kind of dead technology because it was proven on land it didn't work 30 years ago. So how it ended up on a ship, I have no clue. I have no clue. Thank you.
Great.
Thank you very much for your pitches. I have a question for Clemens, Aerodymax. Can you tell me a bit more about your pricing and the business model you want to adopt?
Sure. At this point, it depends on the length of the trailer and the dimensions. What we do is, as we retrofit trailers, they don't come with OEM. So what we do is we take the dimensions, then produce the skirt, and it starts at a price for a semi-trailer around 1,500 euros and goes up to 2,500, I would say, at max.
With savings for the company, I think you mentioned that
exactly.
as well.
So at the moment, our clients have reported around 3,000 to 5,000 euro savings per truck. That depends, of course, loading, distance they travel, speed they travel. All of this has an impact. And
per year, you mean?
Per year, yes, per truck. And with a return on investment starting at 6 months.
Thank you all for a very interesting presentation. Question for Olivier. There is a lot of competition in France. So what makes you different from the competition?
Yeah. The main difference so far is that we have built a 700 network of bike dealers everywhere in France, and we have built the technology to connect the employees with these bike dealers. So we are able to accompany especially large corporations everywhere in France, especially in the countryside, in small areas, and it's a way much better employee experience when you just have to choose your bike in a bike dealers, and you get your bike and without your credit card, and the impact on the employer brand is very strong, and that's what we sell also. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much for these pitches. I would have a question for Alt Mobility. I think so. It's a very interesting market and a very exciting journey, but the market is a bit crowded. How do you differentiate from your competitors? Could you elaborate?
Yeah, so in India, leasing a fairly new concept, especially electric vehicle expertise is basically what we bring to the table. Our understanding of the underlying asset, which is the EV itself. We go deep into what the underlying battery pack is. We collect a lot of data. We do a lot of analytics. So the way that we work is we're not asset heavy. We've 4,300 vehicles. Initially, were on our books. We actually own these vehicles. But we have moved to an asset-light model where we don't own any of the vehicles. It's on the books of a leasing company. So we partner with leasing companies and banks and financing institutions to essentially enable this to happen. And our expertise, the underwriting, the asset management capabilities, which helps in reducing the cost of capital, reducing the risk, and lowering operating cost and the cost of risk for financing institutions and leasing companies. That's where we bring in our expertise.
Last and very short question.
Oh yeah, quick question for Clemens. How defensible is the product?
With defensible, you mean reproducible?
Correct.
Yeah. So of course this product exists in the United States. It's actually on the United States market. It's never made the entry into the European market because it's always been too fragile, too expensive. Schmitz Cargobull, one of our usual competitors, had a product on the market that cost 10,000 euros and broke within a day or two. Over that. But at this moment in time, we're working with the WIPO, and we have 10 claims to make this 10 different IPs for mounting for the installation process as well as for the skirt itself.
Wonderful. Perfect timing. Thank you so much. I'd love to ask you off the stage for now, but please remember that after this pitching session, there's also networking opportunities.